Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I have an easy and delicious cake recipe for you, and I'll be making my raspberry lemon cake with raspberry lemon cake layers, a lemon cream cheese frosting, and lemon curd filling on the inside. And in my book, lemon and raspberry are one of the best flavor combinations ever. So delicious. Now for this recipe, I'm going to be using my basic cream cheese frosting and my easy lemon curd recipe. I have two separate videos for those. I'm going to include the links down in the video description box below. I'm going to make my basic cream cheese frosting, add a little bit of lemon zest to it to add even more lemon flavor to the cake. Meanwhile, let's get started on the raspberry lemon cake layers. And I already have my oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to get started with all the liquid ingredients first. So into my mixer bowl, I'm going to add in 3/4 cups of canola oil. You can use any type of light cooking oil that you like. Just pour that right into the mixer bowl. I just love how easy this recipe is. You guys are going to love it. And we have 4 large eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 cup of whole milk, and 1 cup of white granulated sugar. And I'm going to mix this on medium to high speed for about 2 to 3 minutes until the eggs are well beaten. And for my dry ingredients, I have 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. To that, I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Just mix those all together. And I'm going to sift the dry ingredients into the cake batter. You always want to do this to ensure that you don't get any clumps of flour or baking powder or baking soda in your cake. And then I'm going to mix the flour into the cake batter on medium speed for about 1 minute, or just until that flour gets incorporated. You don't want to overmix at this step. And now that I have my basic cake batter all ready, it's time to add some flavor. So I'm going to zest about 3 lemons into my cake batter. These are a little bit smaller. I'm using Meyer lemons today. You can use regular lemons as well. And this lemon zest is going to give the cake layer so much extraordinary flavor. It's going to be amazing. And for my raspberries, I'm using 1½ cups of fresh raspberries. I'm going to toss them with a little bit of cornstarch, about a tablespoon. And the cornstarch is going to help thicken the berry juice as the berries cook in the cake batter. And I'll add the raspberries into my cake batter, and then grab a spatula and fold in the raspberries and the lemon zest. And for baking my cakes, I've lined 2 8-inch cake pans with parchment paper, and I'm going to divide the cake batter evenly between the 2 pans. I just like to use a big spoon for this. If you want it to be super accurate, you can also use a kitchen scale. And my cake layers are ready for my preheated oven. I'm going to bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 32 to 35 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Once the cake layers are done, just let them cool completely on a wire rack. While they're baking and cooling, it's the perfect time to make a batch of my lemon curd filling and my cream cheese frosting. You'll want to make the cream cheese frosting just as in the recipe instructions, and at the very end, add in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon zest, and it's going to taste absolutely incredible. And now that my cake layers have cooled completely, it's time to put together the cake. Once the layers were cooled, I used a long serrated knife to level off the top. I also made a batch of my lemon cream cheese frosting. This frosting turned out so creamy and delicious. And I love the little specks of the lemon zest in there. It's gonna be the perfect complement for this raspberry lemon cake. I also have a batch of my lemon curd. Now this recipe makes quite a bit. We're not going to use all of it for the filling, but what I like to do with all that extra is serve it on the side with every single cake slice. And you guys are going to love the addition of the lemon curd. It really cuts through the sweetness of the frosting and the cake, and it's like just so delicious. Now let's put this together. So what I like to do is level off that top and then start with some of that lemon cream cheese frosting. Load it right up. Add a few spoonfuls of the lemon curd into the inside, and spread the lemon curd within about 1/2 inch of the edge of the cake. Otherwise, if you spread it too close, it's just gonna come out the sides. Next, I'm going to give this cake a crumb coat of frosting on the outside, and the crumb coat is just going to seal all the crumbs in place. Once I've applied this thin layer of buttercream, I'm going to put the cake into the refrigerator for about 10 to 15 minutes just to allow that frosting to start setting up, and then we'll come back to add that final layer of frosting. And now I'm gonna grab a sharp knife and cut the cake open so you guys can see what it looks like on the inside. And how gorgeous is that? I love that little layer of that lemon curd on the inside, this cream cheese frosting with that cake. It's gonna be so, so delicious. And that's it, guys, my raspberry lemon cake. I absolutely love how beautiful this cake turned out. It's simple yet elegant, and the flavors I know are gonna be absolutely amazing. For the full recipe, just head on down into that video description box. I'm going to leave a link that'll take you over to my website so you could print this recipe off and share it with your family and friends. And now, time to dig in and enjoy. And like I mentioned before, I love to add a little bit extra lemon curd onto my cake slices. It just adds so much more incredible lemon flavor. You guys are going to love it. All right, time to dig in and enjoy. This cake just looks so, so good. And there is just so much to love about this cake. I absolutely love the combination of the raspberry lemon cake with that lemon cream cheese frosting, and I love the addition of the fresh raspberries on top. They add even more raspberry flavor. You guys are going to just love this simple and elegant cake. Plus, it's just so easy to make. Don't forget, I have the links for the cream cheese frosting, the homemade lemon curd as well, and the recipe for this cake all down in that video description box below. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video recipe. Give me a big thumbs up and leave me a comment if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.